Thanks for joining me after the match at Molineux finished Wolves 0, Brentford 2 on Saturday, the 20th of December 2025. Oh man, that was painful. What can you say? No Christmas cheer for Wolves. 2 points going into Christmas, and the next two games are Man United away and Liverpool away. And we're going to lose them, of course. We might battle hard and come close to getting a draw or something like that. But, we're going to lose them. 2 points. And the way it's looking, it's bleak, but it's looking like we're poised to set records. We already lost 10 in a row. And today's opponents, Brentford, it's not like they were any good. And it's not like they had to work hard. But against Wolves, everybody's good. Brentford had a pretty poor away record. They struggled at Leeds last week, and we played them before today 8 times in the Premier, and it was 3 wins each and 2 draws. I remember the last few seasons being at Molineux, and they seemed to beat us every time, except for in the FA Cup where we won after extra time penalty. I think it was Cunha. But today, I'm going to say at the start that they paid tribute to Ethan McLeod, the former Wolves player from Handsworth Wood, who got killed while he was playing for Macclesfield when he's driving home for a match on the M1. So they held a minute's silence for him, and it's very sad for his parents who were there, and his brother who was a footballer as well. They were there in the crowd. It was the minute silence was immaculately observed for him. So well done to the Wolves fans for that. But it was quite a few changes from last week. There were 3 enforced changes. The 3 centre halves that were there last week, Mosquera, Totti, and Agbadou, were out for various reasons. Totti was injured in the first half against Arsenal last week, and he ploughed on, and he's aggravated his injury. Agbadou has gone to AFCON, and Mosquera was booked, so we had a 1-match suspension. So Santiago Bueno came in. Doherty was started as one of the 3 centre backs, and Krejci. But the first half was you could tell that Wolves were a team lacking in confidence, because Brentford were there for the taking, but we just didn't have the ability or the confidence to take the game by the scruff of the throat and just go for it. And it wasn't until about half an hour we had a first shot, and that was a free kick into a wall. Then it rebounded to Doherty, who had another shot, but that was charged down. But their goalie, Callagher, Irish goalie, he only had one thing to do really, which was a deflected cross by Fer Lopez, pushing it over the bars. It looked like it was dropping dangerously towards his net. And Jose Sarr, he had one save to make in the first half, where it was Keane Lewis Potter to his right. After a couple of ricochets, he pushed it out to safety, so it went in half time 0-0. But you could see that away from home, because we've had 2 games away since Rob Edwards has been in charge, away at Villa and away at Arsenal. It's 2 different teams, Wolves at home and away. The away performances have been much better. So going away next week, Man United and then Liverpool, that might not be a bad thing, the way we're playing at home. But there was a lot of empty seats at Molineux, which is unusual, and a lot of fans were leaving before the end, and you could hardly blame them. The first goal, it was a pretty woeful bit of defending. It was like watching kids at school. You'd be disappointed if you're playing in a non-league and let a goal like that. The ball, straightforward ball over the head of Krejci, almost like the one against Burnley when Fleming scored, but this time it was Keane Lewis Potter again. There was just too much time between, the ball just bounced over him, and then Lewis Potter finished it off. But it was Sarr who was our most busiest player in the second half, because he had, was it Sade? They had a cross, and he had a shot, or was a header, and the keeper kicked it away, and then again in the same attack, learnt nothing. We left him unmarked again, and they crossed it to him, and his instinctive shot Sarr saved again. So the writing was on the wall when they went 1-up. But one of our substitutions who came on, Matheus Mane, the 18-year-old, he was involved a lot. He battled, he put crosses in, he won the ball. Whenever he lost it, he chased back and tried to win it again. And it was him who won us our penalty. Somebody crossed it, and it looked like the ball was going to go out, and he managed to knock it in for Doc, who was fouled by his Irish international colleague. And Strand Larsen, he just typical, he misses the penalty. And we were 2-0 down at the time. Lewis Potter, again, he got the goal. But that penalty pretty much summed up the way Strand Larsen was playing. He had another game to forget. Tolu came on, but it was only about 10 minutes from the end, and he didn't really have time to get involved. But our goalie had no chance with either the goal. It was interesting to see that the manager replaced Sam Johnston with Sarr, who's first game for ages. But it really didn't help. Nothing went right today. The only bright spark you could say was Matheus Mane, his performance. But the next game, Mosquera's back. Hopefully Totti's not out injured for long. But 2 points at Christmas, it's absolutely unbelievable. It is a nightmare of a season. January's coming up, less than 2 weeks away. So we've got to make some changes. Some out, some in. We want fighters, because last season we ended the season with no momentum, losing every week, except for we had a draw the last match, and we started the season exactly the same. So we need to turn the results around, get some players in who are fighters. So even if when we go down, because there's no ifs now, I know it's not mathematically certain, because this squad, they're not good enough to put together a long winning run. So when we go down, at least we want to start off next season with a bit of confidence and a bit of winning's a habit. So we want to get into the habit of winning. And it's interesting to see Fosun have replaced Jeff Shee with another Shee, and they emphasise that he's no relation. But the fans are not going to be fobbed off by just thinking if we just change the chairman, but the policy is going to be the same. Things are not going to be any different. Because Wolves fans, they're not so fickle. But it'd be interesting to see what happens. But whatever happens, we'll keep supporting Wolves. But there were so many empty seats today that people... I know one fan who's from the same area as me, with Marines, just by Molineux. The way Wolves have done this season, it's just demoralised him, it's just depressed him. And he wants nothing to do with football until the World Cup. That's the way many Wolves fans feel right now. But it finished here. Wolves 0, Brentford 2. The horror show, the nightmare season continues. But if you got any feedback, let me know in the comment section. But thanks for joining me. Up the Wolves.